Hello everyone. Today I'll be taking you through your practical ETN 2B. So I'll probably be giving you some guides on how you go about doing your practicals. So I believe Dr. Frank have already explained a couple of things theoretically, and I'll just take you straight away to your report, practical report writing. All right. So for each practical, you need to write a report. On that report, you need to have a cover page, as you can see. You need to have a title page. The cover page must carry the school logo and the your student number and your names and the title still on the cover page. Then you have the equipment and the components or the materials that are used in that practical, and you also have the procedure. Under the procedure, you need to include your methodology or your descriptions on how your practical was done or how your project was done. So you need to describe that under procedure or methodology or description or whatever. Then now you need to present your circuit. Your circuit diagram should be under procedure or methodology, where you explain your step by step the way you implemented your project. All right. Then after your descriptions, you need to give maybe the results, so maybe the graphical results or the tabular results must be displayed on the results. Then you discuss the result on that discussion. Then you have your conclusion. Your conclusion will be basically giving your idea or giving your point of view based on the results on the results that you got. Then you have your references. It's very important to cite your references because copy and paste will be you carry a very heavy penalty when you do a copy and paste. And also, don't forget, guys, to also include your precautions. I see your precautions are not included here. So do well to include the precautions that are taken during your practicals. Right. So that is a glimpse of how your practicals will be carried out or your report will be done. I believe most of you guys that did report writing when you were doing ATN 1B. So apparently you know exactly what I'm talking about. Um, okay, so basically, after going through this practical, the report writing, I'll just take you through practical one. Practical one is basically the digital systems. So the aim of this experiment is to illustrate the fundamentals of logic circuits. So it said we should search on the internet at the semiconductor manufacturer, that's Texas Instrument or Toshiba. Okay, so basically here it gives you the data sheet of various CMOS or ICs that we're going to be using. So depending on that IC that you're using, you just need to type in the code on the internet, and and it's going to bring up either Texas. You can look it up on Texas, and you'll see the pin out for that particular IC or for that particular component that you're using. So the pin out information basically gives you the pin and the pins, the grounds, the VCCs, the input, the output, and just to mention a few. So the very first practical that we'll be doing is practical one, which is the digital system, and you will need to submit this the practical report next week. I think your lecturer will explain further on the exact date to submit this. So basically, you will have a submission link on Blackboard. So your lecturer will emphasize on that, and you send you a link whereby you need to submit your report after carrying out this practical. So basically, at the moment, it's unfortunate that we're not able to go to the lab, because a requirement of this is that we need to implement this in the lab. So we're starting up with LTspice. So with LTspice, you will need to carry out these practicals at the moment until we wait when the time is right for us, or maybe adjusted level where we are allowed to go and carry out these practicals in the lab. So the first part of it will be done on LTspice, and the later part will be done in the lab. So you're required to go to the lab maybe before the end of the semester to carry out the practical to which will add up to your marks. That will be communicated on G time. That will be sent. The information will be passed across as we move forward. So, but for now, we need to implement this on LTspice. So basically, the very first one says we need to build a two input OR gate. We need to build a two input OR gate, a two input AND gate, and we also need to build a NAND gate. So for each implemented gate, we need to complete what we call the truth table. There is an introductory video which your lecturer will also share with you on how to use LTspice. But I believe if you did your ETN 1B perfectly, you must the video will just be just be there to help. But then if you did your ETN 1B perfectly, then you don't really need the video, because it's just an introductory video on how to use LTspice, the interfaces, where you can get the components, where you can simulate the various analyses, the DC, the transients, and the operating point DCs. Alright, so basically I'll be showing you on how to implement the very first one. I will show you. I won't give you the exact ICs or the exact symbols that are in the practical, but then I will use something similar. So for the very first one, for the very first, like you can see here, for the very first one, I will implement something. So just follow along with me as I explain. So I'm going to pull up my LTspice. Alright, so this is the interface for LTspice. Alright, so when you install your LTspice, be it on your Mac or MacBook, or on your computer, um, it's the same. It's the same, and it's a free software, so you can download it. Or you might also need, if you need an assistance, or just type LTspice, then it's going to take you to the website whereby you need to download this. So after you download it, you need to just come click on the very first icon there, which says a new schematic, right? So now when it pull up this interface, it you have there's some icons here whereby you need to familiarize yourself with. Like for instance, we have this is the wire here, like you can see where I place my mouse. This is the ground, this is the labeling, this is a resistor, this is a capacitor, this is an inductor, this is a diode, this is a component where you can get other component which can't be displayed all on this bar. So you also have to move a component around. You can use this. Then to drag a component, be if it's not aligned, you can drag it and align. To do and undo. Then we have our rotate, we have our mirror, then we have a text to include a text on your schematic. Then we also have our spice our spice directives. Then also we have a cut. If you include a component which you don't longer need, you can cut it out. Then we have a copy, so you can copy something and paste. Then we have a paste, a copy and paste, like you can see. Then we have a search. We have a print. You want to print your setup. You have to print it out here. Okay, so remember also when you are reporting, you need to include the figures. You need to include on the truth table. You need to fill up the truth table, and you also need to include the figure which displays the waveform, the waveform which you extracted those ones and zeros. All right. So now this is to run. If you want to run your simulation, then this is to hold the simulation. Then this is to zoom in or zoom out. Then this is to zoom back to normal. Then this is to zoom to a full extension. Right, if you want it to fit, you can use this option, this zoom full extension. Okay, so if you want to save, you must open a new schematic that you've done before. You can use this. Then, if you want to save, you can use that. All right. So I'll start with a new component. So I'll be implementing. Just follow along with me. So to include a voltage source, like a voltage source, DC voltage. So I'll just type the VL all. Then I'll say OK. Then I'll put it here. Then now, if I want to use two inputs, if I want to use two inputs, making one high, making one low, I'll use this one. I'll use two V's, maybe two voltages. So I'll use this and this. Then now, if you want to take away this component, you just press